Welcome to Stonham Barnes Park, Suffolk's ultimate family entertainment destination. This podcast will take you on a journey of discovery of all our facilities and exciting events. We look forward to seeing you soon.
Welcome to you all, and thank you for joining me again on the Stonham Barnes Park podcast. I'm David Sampel, the manager of the Events and Theatre team, and your resident host. In this episode, we're talking about the Minibar Bash event, taking place at the weekend of the 5th and 6th of June. This fun-packed weekend is tailor-made for mini enthusiasts and fanatics, and for families and friends who want to share a fun and very interesting day out. Listen out for the full details of the event at the end of this episode. But first, we've got Carl George, the Minibar Bash organiser and mini expert, to tell us a bit more about what we can expect. Over to you, Susanna and Carl.
Thanks, David. Introducing Carl George, organiser of the Minibar Bash and founder of ISMOC. Welcome, Carl. It's good to talk to you.
Hi, Susanna. Great to be here. Thank you.
Oh, no, it's great to have you here. Now, let's start with the Minibar Bash. Tell us about this two-day event.
Well, it's an event that should be in its fourth year, but obviously last year had a bit of a scupper on it. But it's an event for mini clubs to come together, a mini enthusiast from across the region to sort of celebrate, the British icon that is the Mini. We welcome all versions, the classic and the modern Mini. So our event is a two-day event. It's a camping event for people who want to come and camp, the brave souls who want to come and camp on the Saturday. They can come along on the Saturday from the morning, set up their campsites, and then on Sunday is our main show, which we call Suffolk Mini Show. We have different clubs and people who are not associated with clubs coming. This year, for example, we've got clubs from across the region and sort of slightly beyond. But yeah, it's basically a show where people can pay in advance and come, or it's a show where people, if they want to see what the weather's going to be like, they can just turn up on the Sunday and pay on the gate.
Oh, brilliant. Okay. Talk about some of those clubs a little bit more. They're from across the region. Are they all classic mini clubs?
No, we've got a mixture, actually. So we've got ourselves, obviously, which is Ipswich and Suffolk Mini Owners Club. So we're probably one of the largest classic primary, a few of our members have modern minis as well. But on the whole, we are classic mini club. We'll also be joined by Bury Mini Club, which is another large club here in Suffolk. We've also got Essex Mini Enthusiasts, which is based across the whole of Essex, really. And they have quite a lot of modern minis. We've also got the Mini Cooper Register Suffolk chapter coming. We've got Little Legends, which is an Essex-based classic club. East Coast Mini Club, which covers the whole of East Anglia, and they're really they've got a mixture as well, but primarily modern minis. Colchester Mini Club, Dinky Devils, Essex Mini Club, and obviously lots of owners who aren't part of a club as well. So people who just own a mini and want to come along, they're more than welcome.
I was just about to ask that. Now, on the second day of the event, that you say you're open to the public. If I'm not part of a mini club, but I have a mini, an old one, which I actually did have one, I would have bought it. Can I bring it along on the day and get people to look at it? Or do I need to enter as part of the event?
No. If you want to come for the whole event, because obviously on the Saturday, we've got events going on for clubs and people who are camping or coming just for the day on the Saturday. They need to pre-book, ideally. So we've got an idea of numbers. And we will have some music in the evening on the Saturday as well. We've got a band coming along. We've also got sort of events going on during the day. We're going to have a treasure hunt for people to go off and do. Yep. So there's stuff going on during the day. But if people can't make the whole weekend and they're not sure whether they can actually pre-book, they don't want to commit just yet, you can just turn up on the day. And just pay on the gate. And if you're in a modern or classic mini, we'll try and make sure we can accommodate you in the showground so your car will be on show.
Oh, that's wonderful. And if I wanted to get someone to look at my mini and value it, is that something that can happen at that show?
We will have some specialists there. Ted Sparrow, who's the local mini specialist who runs Team C Rating, is going to be there. So Ted is always available for advice. He's not there in an official capacity, but he's attending the event and he's always able to help with things like valuations and things like that. But so it is something that there's always lots of ice on the mini scene, and that's the good thing about it. It's quite a friendly community. There's also, we're planning to have sort of a for sale area for anyone who wants to sell their mini.
Okay.
They can bring it along and park it in a special area, so people can all go and see the minis that are for sale in one area.
I think I'd be very tempted if I was there. How many minis do you think will be there? Quick question.
It's difficult to say, but we've got quite a lot pre-booked in, but they tend to be the hardiest souls who are going to camp. So it is, as with all shows, unfortunately, it's very dependent on the weather, and some particularly classic mini owners can be a bit rain adverse.
Yes.
Because they don't like the rain. Sometimes they can be a bit temperamental in the rain because of their design. And obviously some people are quite precious and want to look after them, because obviously what was a cheap throwaway car is now quite valuable, particularly the early examples.
Of course.
So really, it's difficult to say. But, with the booked in sort of numbers, there should be, I think in 2019, we had over 250 classic minis, I think, were there. So yeah, it's so, and obviously I think a lot of mini owners are sort of champing at the bit, because we've had very few events to attend over the past sort of 14 months. Most things have been cancelled, so I think we might hopefully have a good turnout if the weather plays ball. We're hoping this rain disappears by the beginning of June.
Well, it's looking that way, and they're promising very warm weather towards the very end of the month, so fingers crossed all will be well. Not just minis at this wonderful event, but there's a trade village, or at least some trade stands.
I believe we've got a few auto jumblers, which normally is very popular with the mini owners, obviously, particularly the classic owners, because obviously some parts can be hard to get hold of. You can get a lot of parts, but sometimes we're often looking for what we call new old stock. So it's the older parts from the original times that are still not used, because they're often a lot better than some of the modern parts, which can be a bit less reliable. So I think we've got a few of those definitely booked in, so there will be some opportunities. But I think we're hoping that we'll have a variety of, I know we've got some food stalls and things like that, and hoping to get maybe a bit of variety for maybe people who aren't so interested in the car stuff. So we're hoping that there should be a bit of variety, and obviously there's also all the shops at Stonham itself and in the shopping area as well. So if you do get a bit sick of it, I think what happens is if you get a bit sick of the show, you can go off and have a look around Stonham itself and take part in some of the other stuff there, because I think once you've got your wristband on, you can come and go as you please type thing.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
I see club games. What is that?
We always, mini shows, it's a bit of a tradition to have some sort of games. There's all different ones that people do. In previous years, for example, we've done a mini push, which is where you have teams of up to 6, and there's a sort of like a course in the ring, and you have to go around the course pushing the mini. So you put the car in neutral, somebody steers, and the other 5 people have to push the mini, and you're timed. That's one that we've done in previous years, but obviously just to make sure we're as COVID secure as possible, we're not doing that one this year. So this year we're planning to do rocker cover racing, which is where people create a valve cover, the valve cover for the minis, which is called the rocker cover. You turn that into a little car, and you have to send it down a track, which is a big wooden built track, and you timed, and it's all to do with getting the weight right so it rolls down as fast as possible, but you have to not cheat, and there are some strong rules. So we're planning to do that this year, because that's a bit more COVID friendly. Previous years we've done all sorts of things, like in 2019 we did the world record attempt for getting the most people in a classic mini, which is obviously definitely not on this year for COVID reasons, because obviously you can't really socially distance in a mini. But in 2019 we got 15 people into the car, and that was two in the boot as well. But this year we won't be able to go ahead with that. But we didn't actually. The world record is actually 27. How they got 27 people in to a mini, I'll never know. But we did quite well with 15. We thought.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I've just hopped back to that joke. How do you fit? What is that joke? How do you get 4 elephants in the mini? 2 in the front and 2 in the back. No, that's not funny.
Yeah.
That out. where that came from.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. We're actually going to hark back on our Facebook post. I'm going to post the video because it was funny watching everyone get out, because people keep getting out and you expect, oh, that's it. Oh no, there's another one getting out. Oh, there's another one getting out. So it's quite interesting how many you can actually fit in if you really try.
Yeah, I think you must have to know and like each other very well. Right,
yeah,
moving on.
Yeah.
I see also trophies. What's that?
Every year we do a show and shine, so that's another sort of tradition for. It's not like a concourse. It's not really that strict. It's really like a pride of ownership, and people are judged on sort of the cleanliness of the Mini and the condition of the Mini and how original and stuff like that. And this year we're actually getting Ted Sparrow from the Mini Specialist, Team C, and also some people from Bridge Classic Cars, which is another local classic car specialist, are going to be involved in judging that. And we've got 3 trophies. We've got a best classic Mini, best modern Mini. So we're not leaving the modern Minis out. So, you know, if you've got a modern Mini and want to come along and give it a good buff and try and win a trophy, you can do that. And then we'll have the overall sort of car of the show, which that will be on a variety of criteria, not just on the show and shine. That will be on, you know, the best example on display that day.
You love Minis, don't you? I can tell.
Oh yeah. We've got 4 at home ourselves, 4 classic, and 1 modern. So we've sort of got got the bug, definitely.
Well, when did you first fall in love with Minis?
Well, I think, you know, Minis when I was growing up. I won't tell you how old I am, but when I was growing up, you know, most people had a Mini in their family at some point. It was a classic. Second car of the family, if you like, and so it was the first car that I drove. We had an old white Mini on the drive that I used to learn my clutch control in and go up and down the drive, forward and reverse. So it's the first car that I drove, and obviously, sort of in the last sort of 12 years, I started getting back into. I lived in London for a while, so I didn't have a car, but in the last 12 years, got back into Minis, and now, you know, we're up at number 4. So it's it's definitely keeping me poor.
And when did you start up ISMOC?
So actually, ISMOC at the club is in its 5th year this year. It's it will be its 5th birthday in October this year. I was members of other clubs before, but we always there were sort of more larger regional clubs which maybe had more of a mixture of maybe primarily modern possibly, and so we felt there was a need. So we started off probably 6 or 7 years ago. We created a Suffolk Minis Facebook page, just so local sort of, because there wasn't really there used to be a club called the East Anglian Mini Club, and that unfortunately, or the Anglian Mini Club, and that unfortunately sort of folded. And there wasn't really a strong presence locally in Suffolk apart from Bury Mini Club. So we felt there was a need for maybe something more in the east side of Suffolk, which was where the idea for ISMOC came about. And that really developed from the Suffolk Minis page, and that went on to develop into the club itself. We started with about 12 members. And we're now over 150 members. So we're going quite strong. Even through the pandemic, you know, when we've not been able to meet very often, we obviously have still grown our membership, which is great. Yeah,
no, that's fantastic. And you raise money for charity too.
Yeah, when we've done several sort of charity things. Normally we raise money as part of our Minibar Bash event or the Suffolk Mini Show. For Fresh Start New Beginnings is the charity we've supported in the last couple of editions. We've also raised money for other charities. We recently, last year, when we were able to do a run in the summer when restrictions were a bit more reduced, we also raised money for the local hospice as well. Sadly, one of our members passed away due to cancer, and so we raised some money for the local hospice that supported him and his family. So we're quite active in raising money when we can.
Back to the Minibar Bash. When did you first start doing that?
The first year was 2018. Right, so we'd always wanted in the previous club we'd often used Stonham as a base for runs and things like that, and we'd often spoken to Stonham. And they'd often said to us, "Do you want to go ahead and do like a proper event, like a show?" And we'd never really done it with the previous club, so that was one thing I'd always been interested in doing, because often for mini shows we have to travel a lot. I mean, there are a couple of local shows. There was Norfolk Mini Owners Club used to do a show, and also Colchester Mini Club did a show a few years back, quite a few years back now, but they'd never really sort of carried on. And so it's sort of something that, you know, it'd be nice for us locally in the local region not to always have to travel for shows, because they're always quite far off a lot of the time. So so that was the driving force behind it. And we have an international mini meet every year. Obviously, it's not happened this year or next year. It's not happening because last year, straight after the Minibar Bash event, which was in June, we were all booked to go off to Germany, to Bavaria, for the international mini meet. So we were all driving off in our minis, classic minis, off to Bavaria, virtually the Monday after the Barn Bash event ended. But unfortunately, that all came to a crashing halt. So this year, obviously, they've cancelled again because it was due to be in Italy. Obviously, it's we don't mind the travelling, but it's nice to have something on your doorstep, and that's really what was the force behind the idea, really.
Yeah, and what a success it's been too. Carl, how do we book to get on into the Mini Barn Bash?
So if you want to come and pay in advance, and, you know, whether you want to camp or just want to come for both days, because what we do allow, you know, some people are not keen on the camping, and we have got a few of our people who have booked in advance are staying in a local hotel. There is a travel lodge just down the road, isn't there, near Stonham, so it's not too far. But yeah, if anyone wants to come for both days, you can book on our website, which is ismoc.co.uk, or if you just Google Mini Barn Bash or look on Facebook for Mini Barn Bash, you'll find us, because we if you Google Mini Barn Bash, we're right at the top of the Google search, so we're easy to find.
Good. Well, we look forward to this event. David's just coming back in a minute to tell us all about the specific details. But thank you so much for joining us, Carl.
No, thank you.
We wish you so much luck for the event.
Thank you. Thanks very much.
Thanks, guys. Looking forward to seeing you, Carl. So here's everything you need to know. The Camping and Club Day is on Saturday the 5th of June, and the event is open to the public on Sunday the 6th of June from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Ticket prices for the Sunday are £10 per person, which you can either buy in advance or pay at the gate, and children under 12 are welcomed free. We also allow you to bring your dogs into the event as long as you have them on a short lead. As well as all the mini club events and stands, there will be plenty of food and drink outlets and a licensed bar. For all event inquiries for the weekend and camping, please visit ismoc.co.uk. Thanks for joining me on this episode, and we all look forward to seeing you soon.
Visit stonhambarns.co.uk for more information.